There's one thing you should know first. I don't know where I'd be without my family.
Oh, wow. Hello, everybody. I am recording on my laptop. My camera looks really crappy to me. I don't know how it looks to you guys. But anyway, I just wanted to give everybody a little rundown on our situation and what I think we have decided we're going to do. In 2013, my husband and youngest son and I moved to Mount Crockett, South Carolina, and we own our own place there. And we lived there until January of this year. In January, we decided that we had a little bit of money, and we had been discussing of trying to move somewhere else to see if we maybe could better ourselves. Like I said, we own our own place in South Carolina, and so we moved to Texas. After coming out here to visit my husband's brother, we decided that we would move to Texas and give it a try. We came to Texas on vacation. I was working for a company in South Carolina called Advantage Solutions, and it's a retail merchandising company. And we would go to different stores and set up displays, do resets. I was what was called started out retail merchandiser, but considered a special project rep. And I worked in stores in South Carolina, some in North Carolina, and Georgia. And originally, I was wanting to try to move to Georgia because, it's a bigger metropolitan area. And I'm not a city girl, I'm a country girl. So I wasn't wanting to live like in Atlanta per se, but maybe some of the surrounding areas, Riverdale, somewhere like that. And Riverdale is really where I still think that I would like to try to live eventually. But when we came to Texas in the beginning of January, we first of all, it was cold. It snowed while we were here, but the snow didn't stay. It looked like in the area of Texas that we're in, we are in Bell County, which is a pretty big county in central Texas. Belton is nice because there's a little place called Belton Lake, but it's like super expensive to live there. Then Temple. Parts of Temple is okay, but it's more city. And when we first moved to Texas, we lived in Temple, but we lived east side, which is a really bad part of Temple. But we decided when we came out here at the first of the year to visit my brother-in-law that we thought that we would like Texas, and we were across the Mississippi River. And we thought, that we're going to give this a try. So I know I look strange with this headphone and whatnot on, but I'm trying to do away with a little bit of the background noise. My husband watches wrestling on Mondays and Tuesdays, and the TV's on, and the AC's going, and I don't know how well my mic on my laptop picks up, but the one on my cell phone picks everything up. As a matter of fact, most of the time you can hear the background noise better than you can hear me. But anyway, I know I'm just jumping around, and I'm sorry, I'm new to this. Bear with me. I'm hoping to get better. But anyway, we moved to Texas around the 23rd of January 2018. And before we got here, we had decided we're going to move to Texas while we got a little bit of money. We're going to give it 3 months. Then we're going to give it 6 months. And then we're going to give it a year. Well, on the 23rd, when we came, okay, we left South Carolina, went through Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana, and then we come through Houston. And outside of Houston is a little town. It's Waller County, Hempstead, Texas. It's just a little small town like the one we live in here, Rogers, Texas. Uh, but my husband was pulling out a road to get on Highway 190. I think I'm right, 190. Yes, 190. To come that way to we were going to our place in Temple that we had rented, and a tractor trailer had moved over to the left hand lane, and then I don't know if he was thinking that my husband should have waited or if he just simply didn't see my husband, but he pulled back over into the right hand lane into my husband's. My husband was driving a budget truck. So that strike one. We get to our house that we rented in Temple. I have posted pictures of the inside of the house and the outside of the house in Temple on Facebook, on my Facebook. It's a really crappy house. This is so lame. The day we got ready to leave, when we came out to visit, when we got ready to leave to go back home, we were supposed to go look at a mobile home in Butler, Texas. And I don't know if we would have been any better off there or what. But however, I had called several different places checking on places to live. And we had to go through a bunch of red tape in order to rent this mobile home in Butler. And we were really wanting to get back home because I had to go back to work. And this guy called us. It was dark when we went and looked at the house using flashlights, light on our cell phone and everything. Well, the house rented for $500 a month. And I think we had to pay a $200 deposit, which the deposit wasn't that bad. But the rent and everything here in Texas is like the cost of living is way higher than it is in South Carolina. And I don't know. I mean, you can research it and stuff. South Carolina really does have a low cost of living, partly because I really don't know how to explain it. A lot of South Carolina is like dead in the water. And what I mean by that is it's not like booming businesses and stuff unless you're like in the big city parts. Greenville, places like that do better. But we live out in a really, really small community in South Carolina. And so there really wasn't much there. I miss it. It doesn't have to be much there for me. I mean, I had a pretty good job. I miss my job. But anyway, back to my story. My husband had a wreck. We moved to this house, and when we get there, there's a note on the door from the police department stating that a homicide had happened right next door to my house. I mean, in an open lot. There was no house there or anything, and a guy got shot and killed right there. I mean, it was probably maybe 50 foot from our house. That's the side of Temple that we lived in. Drugs, gangs, that's not my cup of tea. I don't like the city anyway. But we lived there for a while, and I got a job working for this company called RGIS, if you can call it that. And in this company, we did inventory. And it was mostly at night or the evening. Which makes sense. It's easier to scan and do inventory when the store is closed. That way, customers aren't in your way and you're not in the customer's way. But I was only working like a couple of nights a week, 2 or 3 nights a week, and it just wasn't getting. I was making $11 an hour, but if you're not getting the hours, so I continued to put in applications and got hired through Driveline. Driveline is a retail merchandising company like Advantage. However, I don't know what they do in South Carolina. I knew of the company because they are kind of Advantage's competition in South Carolina. I don't think there's much competition to Advantage here in Texas because, from what I gather, we only do certain things at Lowe's Hardware. We do a little bit of stuff at JCPenney's, Kohl's, and our main focus is Dollar General stores. We do resets at Dollar General's, new cut-ins at Dollar General. I think that's about it. And maybe set up some like shippers. You guys may or may not know what shippers are, but shippers are these little cardboard things. Well, not always little, but cardboard containers that product goes in. It's got like flashy pictures and stuff like that on. Today I did 2 at 2 different Dollar Generals for Hershey's. However, Advantage represents Mars, so I guess Driveline is the Hershey's deal, whatever. But anyway, my husband had the wreck. He goes to court Thursday over that. My husband has 2 speeding tickets. One of them, the first one he probably was speeding. I wasn't with him. The second one, he was not speeding. I was in the car with him. He was taking me to work. But it's just, Texas has been really hard on us in a lot of different ways. And it's like we've done nothing but struggled. My car is now got a bloated head gasket, is running hot, and I'm not getting very many hours, so we have decided that we are probably going to go stay with a couple of friends that we have acquired since we've been in Texas and try to save the money to buy another car because my husband is also employed with Driveline, and save the money to go home. Which means we will be moving back to South Carolina sometime within this next year. Sooner, I hope, than later. I will continue to try to keep up both of my YouTube sites during this time as much as possible. Once we get back to South Carolina and get settled in, there's places there that I'm just really excited about putting on YouTube. The very first video that I uploaded on my other site, Curiously Exploring, I do want to go back there to just video everything there because there's the waterfall. There's a tunnel there where they were going to make a railroad tunnel. It may have been a railroad tunnel. It's just like, it's really a lot of history there. And I really, really, really want to document that for you guys because it is really awesome. There's a place called Sugarloaf Mountain in South Carolina that I'm just really excited about, documenting for you guys. There's lots of places that I would not be afraid to explore there that I am here in Texas, because I've lived there and longer and I know more about what's what there. But we had lived in Temple, and my brother-in-law and his girlfriend had some issues, and she made it appear as though she wanted to get back with him, and this is where we're going to stay. They were staying there, and she messed that all up. She has a son that is 19 that is, I just, yeah. Anyway, we rented this house in Rogers, and we were going to rent it all together. It was me and my husband and my son and her and my brother-in-law and her son, and we were going to split the bills. The rent here is $600 a month, 2-bedroom. Well, we turned it into a 3-bedroom. Uh, my first water bill was $154. Power bill was $130. Then, things didn't work out. Her son is so disrespectful to everyone. And so he and I had some words. He decided he wouldn't stay in here anymore. So mom went with him, left my brother-in-law here, and left me to pay all these bills. I got a part-time job, trying to get more, but then my car's tore up. So I have prayed and prayed and prayed about this, and I will tell you, I asked God, I said, I am putting it in your hands. I give it to you. And whatever happens, I feel like it's meant to be. So I feel like it's meant that we go home. And so I'm kind of excited about that. I feel a little more at peace, which means to me, it means that, that is what God means for us to do, is to go back home. Because I don't feel at all uneasy about the decision of going back home. We have struggled the whole entire time that we've been here. I'm tired of struggling. I'm tired of worrying when I have a place in South Carolina that is ours. No one can say, hey, move out. It's our place. We own that place. So I feel really, this was something new. We tried it. It's not working out. I'm not kicking myself for it. The only thing I'm saying is the money that we used to come to Texas, we could have spent on our place in South Carolina. But, you never know until you give something a try. And we tried. We have tried. We have given it our all. We have tried really hard to make Texas work. And it's just simply, I just don't believe that it's meant to be. So I'm really excited about going back home. So this is what I would like. I would like for you guys to maybe leave some comments of your opinion on what you think. I ask that you not be disrespectful, but I just would really like to hear some of you guys' comments and thoughts about, things that have happened and the decision that we're making. I'd really like to hear that. Also, talking about my husband's accident that he had the day we got to Texas. The day the wreck happened, the officer told my husband that all the evidence shows that the truck driver was at fault. Okay, so you didn't size 74 Ford pickup. There's a problem. So this is why my husband's going to court, because he is going to, and from the way the DA was talking when my husband went and spoke with the DA, we're pretty certain my husband's going to win this case. And then we are going to file a claim against the truck driver's insurance. And we're all kind of new to that because, the rules and stuff for truck drivers is different than regular vehicles. So, but anyway, I just wanted to throw that out there and let you guys know that. But do leave some comments and let us know your opinion. There's nothing wrong with people having an opinion, and it doesn't really matter because my husband's the type of person that once he's decided something, it's a done deal. So, well, thank you guys for watching, and like I said, leave your comments, and maybe I can eventually get some people on here joining in on these live streams and everything. And y'all have a really good day. Thank you. Bye-bye.